Little did I know when I started this vlog that one of the most, the most viewed videos, the subject that people would just seem to go crazy for was the ghost mall. Just urban exploration and finding these abandoned places and going through like these buildings that people used to go to as kids or, you went to as adults and everything, and now it's kind of just become these archaic ruins of everything. It was crazy. I mean, granted, that was also a ton of fun. Like, I love discovering stuff like that. And this was in Dallas at the Valley View Mall, which I had never been to before. I had only heard of recently. And of course, that's when it's, being destroyed and everything. But the video is still doing well, still getting comments on it, still getting views on it, which is great. And the only reason that's surprising is because as a person who is relatively new to YouTube, actually coming up on a year for it now, so that's cool. But as a person who's relatively new to it, it is extremely difficult to get anybody who's not like your close friends and fam to subscribe. Yeah, okay, click it, it's cool. Subscribe and actually watch videos. It's hard to get your stuff out there. So the fact this video has been doing so well and there's already over 1,000 views and everything was kind of cool. So I kind of fall down this rabbit hole of all the weird things that people find on Google Earth and Google Maps. And so I thought, let's do an episode on that. Since we're all stuck inside, well, I don't know. I haven't been out. I haven't seen sunlight in months. So let's see what kind of weird stuff we can find on Google Maps and Google Earth. Alright, so first up on the list we have the ancient alien face found in Antarctica. I feel like Antarctica has just got a ton of weird, mysterious things in there that always have to deal with aliens or some sort of mythical beast that's hidden in the snow that no one can ever get to. So this was a spot on Google Earth found relatively recent. Everyone of course is speculating this is alien face or ancient beings and things like that, which my favorite take on this, because aliens, why not? Aliens are awesome. But it was kind of put out and discredited as, of course, it was a mountain face that was covered in snow that the patterns sort of resembled facial features. And that's the scientific explanation for it. But also aliens. Next up is the abandoned Italian village of Craco. The first time I saw this, right away I thought of like the Colosseum in Rome and just the way it's this monolith in the middle of the town that is just destroyed and plants are growing out of it and it looks crazy. And all of this here, it looks like it's an ancient kind of just medieval village that for its time I read, it was going good for a while, but it was prone to recurring natural disasters. They were always getting landslides and they were right in the middle of an earthquake zone, and the land was not good for agriculture. So after a while, everyone in the village had to move out of it, and it's been abandoned since. But it's also been a desired set for a lot of movies. I think they filmed one of the James Bond movies there. But even as you kind of scroll through this and looking through Google Earth, I feel like you can see people in there sometimes. There's something hid in the darkness there. Oh, it's so scary. Now we have the hand of the desert found in Chile. And this is just a giant hand protruding from the earth. And it's seemingly looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, but people will still drive out here to see this, and it's crazy. It reminds me of the Cadillac Ranch, which is also on this list because it's awesome. If you've never been there, it's outside of Amarillo. I went there years ago, and it's like this. You explain to people, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool. It's just one thing sticking out of the ground." But when you see it, it's kind of interesting. Is it a titan that got buried in the earth, and we now see its hands is coming out? I'd like to think so. Now we have the tiger statue that became a meme in Indonesia. And I didn't find a ton of information on it, but the Indonesian army decided to take it down after it became pretty much a meme and everyone was kind of making jokes about it. And the article I found said the generals there told the BBC that this was made a long time ago. To keep from having it just be a thing floating on the internet being made fun of, they decided to have it taken down. Which, I get it, it's kind of a goofy looking statue, but also it's kind of a bummer, like, it was a part of the history, why take it down? But people can be brutal, man. People can be brutal. So my girl and I have been getting into the show, the HBO show Chernobyl, and so of course I'd look up Pripyat, which is one of the towns that was completely abandoned. Like, everyone had to just uproot and leave because of all of the contamination that was happening with Chernobyl. Everything here is it looks like it's out of a movie. Like, this is not a movie set, obviously. This is an actual town where people used to live, and this is like the remnants of them. But everything in it, it's so surreal and just so crazy looking. It's hard to imagine that this was just abandoned, like on the spot. Everyone had to leave. So it wasn't like it was actually destroyed. It was just time eventually eroded everything here. And I wonder just how much of it we can't see. Now next up we have the Crooked Forest in Poland. So this site has about 400 trees that have this strange hook bend in them that people can't seem to explain. And what's crazy is it's only in this section. The surrounding trees around it, everything else looks like regular plants, like what trees are, you know, what we think trees look like. But these 400 in particular have this hook that, fun speculation part is they're growing in one of these spots on Earth that just, the gravity just acts a little bit differently. And there are spots, there was another video that I saw on here, it was like 10 or 20 spots in the world where gravity doesn't seem to work the same way. And it's kind of interesting, and the Crooked Forest was of course on that list because of the speculation that the gravity over this particular part caused this abnormal growth in the trees, and that's why they have this bend in their trunks. But the scientific explanation for it, at least the most agreed upon one right now, is that these trees were actually manipulated by people, and from their early stages were kind of formed to grow like this. They could grow this strange shape and use it to make the wood that they would cut for the bows of ships, hence the curve in them. So, which one do you believe? That's up to you, but I like to think that there are spots where gravity does not make sense. I've seen Interstellar. I know how gravity works, mostly. And now, Cadillac Ranch outside of Amarillo, Texas, on just the frontage road as you go by. Honestly, if you're driving too quick, you'll go right past it. There's only about 12 cars out there, and it's a giant art installation. And it's cool because you can go out there and they encourage like tagging on it, painting, drawing it up, whatever you want to do out there. They also encourage cleaning up after yourselves. So please, if you do go out there, you know, just pick up some cans. Or even if you don't do any of the spray painting or anything, just go out there and check it out. I think it's always nice to kind of keep these places, preserve them. You know, preserve these places if you can. So just grab a couple of cans, toss them in the recycler, toss them in the trash, you know, take care of the stuff. But Cadillac Ranch was always an interesting one. And there's a hotel here, if I remember it right, there was a hotel nearby that had a giant Texas-shaped pool, which I should have looked that up on here. I'm sure you can see that from a satellite, right? I mean, it's a pool, maybe not, I don't know. But you know, fun because everything's bigger and kind of stranger in Texas. The Upside Down House, found in Ontario, Canada. So, you know, at first glance, I just saw the photo of it, the close-up of the Upside Down House, and I thought, this is insane. Like, what is this thing? Why would they build it? I must know more. And it turns out it's on the same block of, it's kind of just a carnival attraction, you know. There's spots all over this part of town where it just looks like it's a big entertainment district. And you can go inside and take photos. The entire house is built upside down. So the impression it gives as you take your photos, and everyone would then rotate it so that the house itself and the furniture and everything within it is upright and you're upside down, hanging off the ceiling and all that. It's kind of cool. Looks like a fun little tourist attraction for sure, but interesting construction. Now I will say, you know I gotta search for things. I must have scoured all of Google Earth trying to find the Loch Ness Monster, and I did look up Area 51, which it just blocks a lot of things and will not actually let me see any of that. So, there must be more aliens. More aliens. And I know y'all remember the Area 51 skit from a couple dozen vlogs back. You don't remember? Well, drop it. Alright. So I know I've been hearing a lot about this Area 51 thing on the internet. Let's see if we can get ourselves a little sneak peek. Let's see what Area 51's all about. All right, Bush, let's do this.
Bro?
Right. Yeah.
Bro?
What?
I don't think it's the right place, man.
What?
I don't think it's the right place.
District. You know what? We took the wrong turn to Albuquerque when that dude was telling us about like getting the... The internet is such a strange place, and there are so many. I guess the planet is such a strange place, right? These are all supposed to be pictures of the internet. I sometimes wonder how much of them, how many things we find on here that are edited and staged. I came across a video where they showed, like, you know, the Loch Ness Monster, of course, and giant sharks, giant fish, these swarm of red crabs off the coast, but I couldn't find them myself. I could only find videos and photos that other people said this thing existed, so I didn't really mess with that. But it's always, yeah, it's kind of fun just to look these things up and kind of get your imagination running. Whether or not they're real, who cares? It's interesting. It's still pretty creative and entertaining, and I love creating things. So I got an appreciation for the stuff. So if there's anything that you've seen, any coordinates you think we need to look up, leave them in the comments for sure. I would love to check that out. And if there's something else that you're curious about that you want me to do a video on, leave that in the comments too. Let me know. I'm always looking for more interesting things to do on here. And it's, you know, now since I am still kind of stuck inside, this seems like a perfect time to do it. All work and no play. Make Atlas something. All right, y'all. Next time.